Hello, everyone. This is the first night of Grimm's Con, re-emergence, diving deeper into one's shadow self. What this is about, re-emergence. I've heard the word phoenix, rising from the ashes, too often, too much, and I've gotten tired of hearing rising from the ashes like a phoenix. So what it became is something re-emerge, because there are some species of, heck, is it a species of bug, snail that literally in the Amazon that crawl up into their shell and they turn into a big old butterfly like this. A snail of all creatures. And finding that out, that's where reemergence came from. Because what happens when you rise from the ashes like the phoenix and you get knocked down again and again and again and again and again? After a while, some people are going to stay on their butt and say, "Poor pitiful me," but no, reemerge. Before I carry on what more reemergence is about, I want to introduce Kelly Hurley, quantum energy healer and international book author. I've managed to read some of her books, but I will let her tell more about her book.
Thank you. So interesting you're talking about the phoenix. My spiritual name is actually Rainbow Phoenix. And for me, it is the transformation. It is the embodiment of our awakening. And so often people through their awakening, we can sit on the grandstands and then we go into this awakening. We feel like we're in the arena with all these life trees, right? But all of a sudden, all these little things get thrown in to blow up the trees. And so often people go running back to the grandstands, right? For me, the rebirth and the rising of each time is just a new layer, a new level of myself being found, right? To finding my true self and finding the true connection to my spirit, to my soul, to divine knowledge, to carrying more light, to bringing actual truth, right, to the world that's been so condemned in society, right? And we won't go too much into that conversation, but yes, I am an international energy healer, transformational coach. I have got 2 best-selling books. I have been seen as the top 10 transformational coaches to look out for in, I think it was 2023. Listed as organically on the Gold Coast in Australia, is one of the top energy healers in my area. And as well as doing transformation on people, it's through my own, like the wounded healer of each time that I've come into a new part of myself that needs to be seen and loved and transformed or even just integrated, is where I actually help my clients. And I've helped people with so many different things. A lot of it is energetics. That's why I'm energetically inspired, right? That's my business. But yeah, so for me, I resonate with the phoenix. Phoenix is really a big thing for me. Even when I made my medicine drum, the phoenix appeared in the skin naturally, right? So yeah, but the re-immersion is very similar to the rebirth, right? It's like every layer of truth and that I call forward for myself is huge, right? It's like, okay, how do I actually meet myself at this whole different level? How do I integrate into another version of myself and let the old version die? And it doesn't mean that old dying part is not a loved version of myself, but it's like an upgrade, continually moving forward and expanding my tools, my awareness, my gifts, and bringing that to the world. And recently I've been really standing for helping a lot of spiritual and mystical light workers, you name it, find sustainability, because a lot of business itself is in density. It is built in scarcity. It's built in survival. We need money to survive. And so I help people come out of that to find themselves.
That is, wow. That's very deep. That is very altering to hear what you do. It is just, it's like, wow. Words can't describe what it's interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know how to put it together. Hey, this is what I saw when you were talking about that. I keep seeing Bellingham, Washington. I keep seeing what's known as Peace Arch Park. Peace Arch Park is where the Canadians can come walk across into America, where they can hang out with their people, where they don't have to always go through the border. They can hang out there in the park. It borders Bellingham, or it borders Blaine, Canada, and here's Surrey, or Blaine, Washington. Here's Surrey, Canada. So as you see, like the trailer here, you see the road here. It'd be like we step across that road, we're in Canada. And I keep seeing this, but I keep seeing you standing there. I see a couple other people standing there, but I see you standing there holding your hands out, and your hands are just like this, and you're shifting them. You're doing this. You're doing that constantly, and I keep seeing energy just coming out of you and others that are literally growing this tree. There's a couple others of you growing the tree, but you're putting most energy in it, and you walk up to it, it encases you, and then you come out and you're sitting there, just you're giving energy to the earth with many others. You're just, it's a version of you where your hair is really kind of braided like this, and it's a long braid, so it's wrapped around your neck, and you're in some type of robes. I can't see what the robes are, but I'm watching energy come out of you with others. This is what I've been seeing since you and I first been talking. I mean, when we first started talking a couple months back, this is what I've been seeing the entire time, every time I see you.
So I don't know if you know much about my history. I'm Australian, of course, but I'm actually a dual citizen to Canada. I grew up in Vancouver, lived 1 year, did junior high at Blaine High School. So my grandparents owned property inside of Birch Bay, which is next to Blaine. And we lived there 1 year before migrating back to Australia, right? So I have a lot of history and I've got a lot of family from over that side of the world. And for me, you know what, when I started creating the Quantify formula, it was actually bringing high vibrational energy into and teaching universal and quantum laws into business itself. Because for me, it's like every single one of us healers, mystics, truth bearers, bring forward it creates sustainability, right? And gain abundance and prosperity, of course. But every single one of them that does that means that we're raising the vibration on earth. We're shifting the energy. We came here in the Aquarian age to rise, to change the frequency on earth and to change the frequency of humanity, right? And it's through having these beautiful heart-led, soul-led people. And because we are in our souls, connected to the soul aspect, asking for the divine knowledge through our soul every day, and what is our next step, you know, our business can't be anchored into a 3D density, right? And this is a huge problem for a lot of them, right? They're still being taught by mentors systems and processes that actually keep them limited, keep them in scarcity, and make them question, is this even their purpose, right? If you actually love what you do, if it creates fulfillment and you feel the reward by the transformation and the healing and the tools that you use and whatever they are, there's so many of them out there, then, you know, that is part of your purpose, right? Usually we have a few purposes along the way, and then we get a mission, and the mission becomes bigger than us. And for me, my mission is bigger than me. It's about helping shift humanity's vibration by helping these beautiful soul entrepreneurs to succeed. And that is where my heart really lays. I love the energy healing work. I love, like, I'm booked out all week with clients, and I love it. It's passionate for me, but also through my own transformation and my own, and you probably see I call out a lot of bullshit online, and like, I don't like this, like, and I do it from a place of love, because I'm trying to bring higher frequency into, to whether it's coaches, like as much as I'm a transformational coach, the industry of coaching has been damaged by so much manipulation and using all these sales and scarcity tactics to get people to buy through them and don't necessarily create change, right? And so for me, I am a transformational coach, but the name of coach, a lot of it has been damaged by such silly things like that. So like on the weekend, I went and joined an event, and she is classed as Australia's #1 manifesting coach. Okay. She is like ultimately she's created a movie, she's got podcasts, she's a multi-millionaire, right? Because she's tuned in so significantly into the quantum field and delivers high frequencies, constantly in that death and rebirth, right? Constantly talking about, if I want that next version, if I want that next level of success, if I want that, I need to kill the version of me now, because our reality is a hologram based on our frequency. Everything is based on the vibration of what we are, where we are, what we're creating. Everything that's happening in our world right now is proven by science to actually be a reflection of us as energy, right? So whether it's our beliefs, our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, whatever it is, our patterns, they are rippling out into the world, into the quantum field, and then therefore we're receiving what is our reality. So I say to people, whatever you got in your reality is a direct reflection of your identity, but it's also a direct reflection of your vibration, but it's also a direct reflection of what you tolerate. If you don't tolerate something, you will change it, right? And so that is where I stand for, is showing people that they are actually in the driver's seat, and it takes roughly 6 to 8 weeks for the metaphysical to come to the physical, but people don't stay consistent for that 6 to 8 weeks. As we raise our vibration, we become more magnetic, we amplify the field, and things come into our field so much faster. So when we talk about energy, right? Energy is the foundation of everything. E equals MC squared. It has been proven in science again and again and again. But we look at, like, the more we raise our vibration, the more we collapse time, we speed up time, right? And I'll show you in a diagram, actually. She gave it to us on the weekend. I think it's here. And it's great because just that, right? I don't, hang on. Well, I might have to turn my light off so you guys can see it a bit better. There we go. So here, that is a Hertz frequency, right? That is a Hertz frequency. Now, the difference between 1 Hertz, what a Hertz is between the highest point and the lowest point is 1 Hertz. So between this point and this point is 1 Hertz. But as you can see, there's so many of these in that distance between this one and this one, right? So this one here is living in their mind. They are living in the scarcity. They're living in depression. They're living in stress. Their sympathetic nervous system is overactive. It is controlling their reality. And therefore, time is moving slow for them. And because it's moving slow, we have more interruption through our brain as to create safety systems, right? Which is going to be sabotage, tell you you're not good enough. All those stories is actually your safety system, right? But if you're living in that high frequency, you have less time for that interference to come in, but you're also receiving more life force, more truth, more divine intelligence, all of the things that come in with that high frequency. You're connected to your soul and the heart's guidance more than the head's guidance, right? You will hear the soul and it will say, take action, do this thing. You just do it. You don't let the head go, oh, but, right? And that is what they should be teaching our children this in school, right? If our children or us, we had this awareness that we are just energy, right? And 80 to 90% of us is just space, or 99.9%, I think it is actually, to be right. How much different people would walk around this world, right? And so this is all these amazing things that are coming to science now, right? And being brought forward. It's like all the things that can actually make us change our reality were the things that were hidden from society for the longest period of time. And I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about all the things that have been hidden in the Nordic laws, in the mystery schools, and like, people don't realize you have power in your hands. You can heal, right? The quantum can heal you, right? But people are taught such limitations in relation to these kind of things, right? So yeah, I find all of this stuff super passionate, and that's what I stand for, is to help others stay in alignment to what actually lights them up and help others, humanity as a whole, change the world.
I love everything you're saying. It's love everything you're saying, indeed. Love everything you're standing for. It's mind altering just to walk the path with the healers,
Mm.
because I used to be the exact opposite when I discovered what my gifts could do. First of all, don't want to be dismissive of what you said. Everything, it's like in alignment, because I tell people, like, look, if you want to heal, it's within you. I go, if you want to connect to something, connect your heart, be less in your headspace.
Mhm.
I say be less in. I go, I had somebody ask me, well, what if my heart, he goes, my head's telling me this, my heart's telling me this. And I'm like, oh, damn. It's like, so you're telling me your heart is telling you that this is wrong. And I go, then that's not your heart. That's your head. Go, your heart ain't going to tell you it's wrong. Go, it's your head that's going to tell you.
Your head
I go,
likes to talk you. Yeah, your head loves to talk you out of it. I don't know. When I ask my soul, sometimes I will get a no. It just means it's, but the no to me is it means it's unaligned, it's non-resonance. Yeah. If our head and heart are in coherence, which is where a lot of people are disconnected. So it's not separating us from our head, but learning that the head actually talks a lot of shit, right? We get to choose what we're defined by, and you can buy into all of those crappy stories that are going to keep you in this life that's not working for you, or start to learn to listen to the soul who knows the way. I don't know the whole path in front of me. I just know each step that my soul delivers me. I have to trust that. And learning to lean into an internal guidance system, like actually learning to feel what is yes, what is resonance, and what is no, and what is not here, not here, right? This makes a huge difference. Like I literally, when I went to Thailand recently, it was the last day, I was getting some stuff. I needed something for my son, and I got everything else that I needed. And I was like, okay, I've got a couple hours to kill. I really want to find this thing. And I walked around. I got taken to this stall, and I asked the guy, and he was busy, but he said he didn't have it. And I was like, okay, went back off wandering around. And I was like, okay, I'm going to sit here instead of like questioning with my head, because I kept getting lost. This place was massive. And I just was like, okay, each time I get to like this crossroads, right, I just, with these markets, I just be like, is this way? Yes. Is this way? And no. Like I was literally like, anyone that was watching me would have been, what the hell's this woman doing? Because I come to this place, close my eyes, feel into my body, and feel for expansion, right? Which way was I being drawn towards? And I ended up back at that stall, and I was thinking, I'm here again, right? And I look up, and then I noticed it actually had one of the labels of the thing that I was looking for. And I said to the guy, this is what I'm looking for, but in a different style. And he was like, oh, yeah. They're in the back corner over there, right? So, again, my intuition let me. So most people don't do that. They don't learn to feel into their body and go, what is an expanded state that feels alignment? What is yes? What is truth? What is not truth? What is not aligned? Right? And from a place here, because your head will tell you lots of things that are not aligned that actually are. And my success and all of the things that have got me to where I am is through trusting the soul, trusting these steps that I'm like, oh, this one's a bit scary, right? You're throwing me into the arena, and I've got to level up on some level, and like take action and do all the things. It's not just woo woo. I actually have to do action. Like it's calling me out of my comfort zone. And the biggest thing is when we're in that space and it's scary, right? Our nervous system's going to trip, but you need to be able to regulate. It's not about waiting till you're regulated. It's not waiting till you are healed. It is just taking action in that moment and knowing your soul's taking you where you need to go, and then regulating yourself when it's scary as fuck, right? Like that's the truth. It's not always easy, but it gets easier when you have the right tools and you trust your soul, because your soul's going to lead you to a great place. It doesn't mean it's not going to give you challenges. It's hit me with many challenges before. Like I've had to heal things that were dark and scary within myself, right? Like that's your soul's not all love and light. It's about getting you to bigger states of love and light, but it's going to let you see your dark and let you meet those pieces and step into a place in an arena that will feel like a challenge. The thing is that when we listen to our soul and take action from our soul, our ego gets rewarded, right? It's not about separating from the mind. It's actually how do we incorporate this and get our mind on board with our heart, right? And watch when the head's just playing a little game of survival, right? And choosing, do I buy into that, right? And so I know you do healing work as well, Joseph. What do you do? What kind of modalities do you use?
I'm a quantum energy healer. I wanted to be a Reiki healer for the long. Well, I grew up around Reiki. My I have had the privilege of in my lifetime being able to be around up until my having met my fifth great grandmother, the patriarch of the family. She passed away at 121. That was an old woman. She was she taught me Reiki and each. So I had great grandma, fifth great grandma, fourth, third, second, first. So I had a lot of grandmas in my lifetime.
Hmm.
I had that privilege, and they all taught me different things, different healing modalities. I've been a spirit medium my entire life. I was a paranormal investigator before I got into life coaching. Yeah, I hunted ghosts.
Hmm.
And I started thinking about it. My buddy came up to me the other day when you said, "What do I do?" I will answer that, but I want to include this, and it's something. He goes, "Okay, Joe, you're not a paranormal investigator anymore. You're a life coach, you're a healer." He goes, "There's not much difference between you and a paranormal investigator." I went, "Come again?" He goes, "I'm not being insulted. I'm being real." He goes, "I'll make it simple." He goes, "I know how you like things in bullet points." I'm like, okay. So he makes it bullet point, meaning make it small. He goes, "One, you a life coach, you help people find their way. You help them heal themselves. You push them to a point where they're going to not be fighting you. They're going to be fighting themselves. They're going to be taking on a Bruce Lee version, a Muhammad Ali version of their self." He goes, "You're going to get them to the point where where they tell themselves they've had enough and they fall to their knees and they surrender." He goes, "You're
Hmm.
going to get them to a point, as you like to quote your favorite movie, Doctor Strange, you can't beat a river into submission." Where she goes, "Stephen, your mind is taking you as far as it can go." And Stephen comes back and goes, "So so letting go of all control is real control." He goes, "It's blowing his mind because he doesn't get it." And I went, "Okay." I said, "Continue on." He goes, "Here, I'll make it short." He goes, "Paranormal investigator goes and gives them, it's a running out of time.
That's all
We've
right.
only got a few minutes." Short version, he says, "Okay, Joe, paranormal investigator gives them answers, gives them truth. You're a life coach." He goes, "You just give them truth, but deeper." I was like, okay. So my healing, I do quantum energy healing where I'm able to tap into energy deeper than most realms around me. I do a little bit of Reiki healing. I also am able to heal with harmonics. When I discovered I was a sound bowl myself, it's I have to be in a deep meditation. I can sit there and release those harmonics that you'll heal from a sound bowl like this. I can do that naturally. So I do different modalities. I've studied most of my life because I wanted to help people. And 44 years old, own my own business. I've owned my own business for 2 years. It's known as Sealic Quantum Coaching. Sealic actually stands for Strategic Emotional Analyst Life Intelligence Coaching. There's nothing on the market like it. I have found nothing close to my business. I've taken and a bunch of them put it together to create Sealic. And it's been an interesting 2 years. If someone would have looked at me 2 years ago and said the first year to 3 years is going to be the most difficult time in your business, I'd looked at them and said, "Yeah, right." Nah,
Hmm.
it is. These first 2 years have been the most difficult of my entire business. I haven't had very many clients, gonna be real on that one, but I still keep going. I don't hunt clients. I used to, but now I don't anymore. What I do now is I just keep pushing forward. That's what this conference is about, is pushing forward, not stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knowing our silent battles we go through every day that people don't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
But we can see when they're going through their silent battles because we've been there. This is to help and show people that there are others out there just like us that are willing to help and willing to continue fighting no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That's what re-emergence is about. To show all of us may be different, but we're all still healers at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're all unique, right? Like, and all very gifted, and we bringing together all these different beautiful modalities, right? And when we trust, I know in the beginning of my journey of being a healer, I was, only charging $30. Now I'm booked out, right? And it was an upgrade through the whole process, of trusting what was my staying aligned to my values, not giving up on knowing that I actually am supported, and it was breaking through all of those subconscious beliefs and programs and limitations that society's put on me and everybody else that makes us feel like, oh my gosh, can we do this? We question ourselves and we aren't fully in. Once we're in and we fully trust that the universe has our back and we know the universal laws as to how to do this, oh my gosh, life changes. And I say to people all the time, like, because I run that Quantify program, which has got lots of spiritual, entrepreneurs in it, I say to a lot of them, if you're a healer, you definitely have Reiki. Have Reiki, because in Google, when people search, they might search for energy healing, but most of the time they're going to search for energy healing or Reiki. So if you've got Reiki there, it's going to bring people in. As soon as people contact me, I ask them, what are they seeking? What do they need help with, to make sure that they are in alignment? I mean, most of the time I can help them. There's a couple of people I'm like, actually, I don't want to work with you. Okay. And it's not but they work in the demonics. I have clients and spiritual people that come in and have psychic attacks and things like that, but these people it's a different shade of that, and I'm like, no, that's not my field, and that's not something that I choose to work with. But I have clients that come in and I help them reestablish their nervous system so that they can create protection from the psychic attacks, right? So very different, but it's trust, right? And having Reiki there, if it's what Google accepts, because most of the time, like I've done vibrational medicine, I've done theta healing, I've done diamond light activation, I've done all these different modalities, but those are not things people search for, right? They don't go online and go, hey, I'm looking for the theta healer, right? They might, but it's a very small percentage of people. And when we learn to own our uniqueness, right? Weird in the dictionary literally says it's connected to the supernatural. The supernatural part of ourselves is when we own our weird, and it's connected to fate and destiny. It was only the Western culture that turned it around and made it an alienation, right? To class people that are weird as the outcast, right? But it is actually connected to the supernatural, right? And when we stand up and be ourselves, if it's our purpose and passion, that is connected to the essence of who you are. So you need to show up as you. Don't filter yourself down. Don't change yourself. Don't put on a mask to match and blend in and, with everybody else, but show up as you. Show up with your gifts. Show up with your uniqueness. Show up with your passions, right? And this is really important. And your unique codes, like I love this. I heard this on the weekend when I went to that thing, and we're about to run out of time. So, but she said, write down the things that piss you off, right? Write a list of them, right? Write down the things that irk you. And I'm all about, like I said, not this leaky sales. It irks me off. The manipulation irks me off. People that are not in congruency irks me off. Authentic expression of themselves. People that are closed-minded and really judgmental, no, right? And it's okay to say that, we see these things that actually don't resonate for us. But what that means is the opposite of that is what is our resonance. So my resonance is congruency. My resonance is open-mindedness and speaking into the things. My openness is actually teaching people how to be magnetic, not to use scarcity tools, right? These are part of my codes, right, that allow me to show up. So it's speaking into and sitting with those things of like, actually, what is my code? And letting people feel your codes, right? Because they're going to resonate with those parts of you. right? Because we're not meant to take everybody in. We're meant to attract, we're meant to polarize and attract the people in alignment to us. I'm not here to save everybody. I'm here to help those that are in line with me, that are seeking what I offer. And this is the thing that most healers make a mistake, is they just want to help everyone because we're in our heart. But when you open yourself up to being able to help everyone, you actually scatter your energy. So you dilute your demand, and therefore the supply, which is clients and money, do not come, right? So we need to be very clear about our energy and who we're here to help and who we're here, what we're here for, right? And what is our codes? And then we attract the right people. Well, I think we're just about out of time. Hey, beautiful people. It was lovely. Like I said, what I'll do is I'll have to download this into my YouTube and share the link with you. What we'll do is in the comments, we will put both our business details, so I'll get Joseph's amazing stuff as well, and put both of it in there for other people to be able to connect if they resonated with the offerings, that because Joe's got some amazing offerings as well, right? And or if they want to watch more, how do they find us? That all that information will be there. And Joe has actually got a beautiful series. I know this one's going to get saved in mine because I recorded, but he's got an amazing series, this re-emergence, and the re-emergence, is bringing together a lot of different people with a lot of different modalities, a lot of different things to bring a spectrum of stuff. So, you can find what resonates for you in this process. And that's what Joe's here and delivering at the moment. Similar to what I do with the collective rising. I'm energetically inspired, but I have a subgroup of collective rising, like I have a subgroup of the quantify, right? So, yeah. So who have you got coming up next now, Joe?
I have tomorrow. There won't be anybody tonight because this is the first successful test run. Whew. Now that we know it'll work, I have to turn it over to somebody else now to have them record it. Now I understand it and I get it. But tomorrow, Claudia, my God, I can't think of her last name. She's a healer out of Thailand. Ironically, I will be bringing on tomorrow, and I will reveal more of her details tomorrow. It's definitely been an honor, definitely with you, definitely been an honor having you on the show. Definitely.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. I got to be your first test dummy. And it worked, right? That's my vibration. Things work.
You definitely are going to be invited to there's a twist in the show that I'm going to be telling all the guests. There's what's called Grimm's Roundtable Talk.
Ooh,
that'll be toward the end of the days. But there's people that are gonna. I've chosen 3 that'll be coming to it. So you're the third one, including myself.